Ladies and gentlemen, I would now request the panelists for the fireside chat on stage, accompanied by Dr. Shweta Singh, Chairperson, Women, Innovation and Entrepreneurship Foundation. I would request Ms. Priyanka C. Raina, founder, Gracia Raina Foundation, to please join us on the stage. And I would now request Ms. Pragya Prasoon, founder, Ati Jeevan Foundation, to also please join us.
So to you, Pragya, tell me the challenges you faced in a story manner, I would like.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Pragya and I'm part of an organization which, Ati Jeevan Foundation, which provides relief and rehabilitation to burn and acid attack survivors across the country. I started Ati Jeevan 7 years ago, and it has been like a learning process throughout. And initially, when during my course of treatment, I faced a lot of difficulties while recovering. Down in 2006, when I was acid attacked, and I was only 23 years old, and I just completed my master's in fashion management, about to start my new career, and I was just married. It was just 12 days after my wedding. And I was very curious. I was very curious to understand why did it happen to me, and B, why am I here for so long? I was shuffling between hospital to home to hospital, recovering from one surgery and then going for another, and nothing was happening. Nothing was, I couldn't see much of difference, which made me understand that how horrific can be the consequence of an attack of an acid.
So coming to you, Priyanka, describe yourself in a language we know you as a Priyanka C. Raina, founder of Gracia, wife of Suresh C. Raina, but how you describe yourself?
First of all, thank you so much and good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure being here. I would just describe myself as a very simple person who's seeking happiness in small moments and trying to live each moment. And at the same time, I'm also somebody who can be very rebellious and have a strong voice and opinion if I see anything unfair happening or anything which is not justified. So I come from a very simple and humble family, and then by profession, if I talk about my professional background, by education, I'm a software engineer. I worked in a corporate sector for a very long time. I was into IT firms, and then I worked as a banker. And 3.5 years back, I gave birth to my daughter, and then that's when I moved back to India. And after moving back to India is when I decided to work on women's maternal health, because going through that entire phase, I realized how difficult and challenging can it be. And if we speak about data, there are about 850 women who die every day worldwide while giving birth to kids. So it's a very big number still. India has made a lot of progress, but there's a lot to be done still. And that's when I started with my foundation, which started working on maternal health, mental health. And then we came up with a lot more programs on reproductive health of young girls and boys. And we started doing programs around the universities and colleges and educating them on their reproductive health, because that's where it starts. So you have to start building a stronger foundation if you want to reach to a level where you have healthy women giving birth to healthy children. And then we also came up with programs in the prison, in fact, because when it comes to health of women in prison, it's kind of completely ignored, and they don't have any sort of facilities. If you go to the prisons, you will find hospitals and dentists all for the male wards, but you'll not find anyone for the female ward. So there's a big gap in that sector too. So then we launched more programs for prisons as well.
Pragya, Just wanted to know the reason why this attack happened to you.
It happened 12 days after my wedding, and of course, by a jilted man who wanted to marry me and whose proposal, my parents had denied. And in India, most of the attacks, and in fact, most of the acid attacks happens by the jilted lover, and there are women who are burnt, in dowry cases, or by their husband, and then the case is changed into a suicide case. So that's what people know, but the reality, what we have seen is most of the women are burnt either by fire or by acid by their own somebody they know, or and the reason, of course, is when they want to, when they are more ambitious, or they want to achieve beyond something beyond their four walls of the home. They want to go out and do something. That's when these kind of things happens.
The time when you had a you have to give a very personal, difficult feedback to someone, because that's the when we always, as a woman, set a back.
Actually, giving feedback has never been a challenge for me. As I told you, I've been working in a corporate world before moving to being an entrepreneur, and which eventually can be even like firing somebody, which is the worst thing you can do to someone. But I think a feedback, be it positive or negative, what is important that you give it in a very constructive way. It's very important how you give it. So the person who you're giving it to has to realize that this feedback is for their improvement. It is something which will help them eventually. So giving feedback is not something difficult for me, but I always have to find a way that I keep the person motivated at the same time, and they realize like it is for their own benefit.
Pragya, I have heard a lot about the skin bank. Can you please explain all of us here what is that?
So just like any other organ donation, you can also pledge to donate your skin, and a single skin donor can save life of up to 3 burn patients. But unfortunately in India we don't have much of skin banks. I got to know about this 7 years back when I was visiting a hospital in Mumbai for surgeries of couple of patients, and I got to know that during acute burn, when you apply the skin within 72 hours of burn, it acts as a temporary skin for your body, and unlike for any traditional treatment for burns happens, this when this donated skin is applied, a patient's recovery becomes double. So if a patient is recovering from a traditional method of wound healing, he will recover in 2 months, and with this skin bank, skin applying over his body within 72 hours, he can recover within 15 to 20 days. So which really helps in avoiding infection, which is the biggest reason of mortality rate in burns. So we need more and more skin bank in the country. Unfortunately, there are very handful of them, like hardly 12-13 of them across India. We need it in every district, and that's what we have been advocating for past couple of years.
Priyanka, we all grow up watching someone or taking someone as our ideal. So there must be one person, either male or female, who has impacted you as a leader.
I think at some point in time, you always have a different person from who you can learn a lot. When we are younger, we learn from our parents. We learn a lot from our father, from our mother, different qualities they possess. And same counts for when you start working or when you start going to colleges. You look up to your professors, you look up to your bosses and leaders. And I have been very lucky to be able to get the opportunity to work with leaders from all around the world, I gain my experience, like whoever I work with, be it my senior or junior, I always find the qualities which I do not have. And I'm open to learn from them. It's nothing like, okay, this person is junior from me, so there's nothing I can learn from. Be open, grasp as much as you can, and implement as much as you can, because that's how you enrich your experience, and that's been my philosophy.